Welcome to today's edition of In Conversation With. My name is Nolizo Mhlaba and I will be your host. The In Conversation With series is brought to you by the Anzisha Prize, and it is an opportunity for us to engage with different stakeholders across the youth entrepreneurship ecosystem. Thank you for joining me today. My guest is an author, an entrepreneur, a mother, and a wearer of many hats, I'm sure. Welcome, Kathryn. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the work you do.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Kathryn, and I'm 41 years old. I am mom to three awesome sons, and I am the CEO and founder of the Money Savvy brands. Under the Money Savvy trademark, we have a couple of different brands to speak to different target markets. We have Money Savvy Kids, Money Savvy Teens, Money Savvy Generation, Money Savvy Adults, and then we also have a product called Wellness Assets, and we teach financial literacy from grade naught all the way through to adulthood. So our mission in life is to educate as many people about financial intelligence and money matters as we can. And we focus on key concepts like saving, investing, budgeting, and debt. But in addition, we also cover more progressive content like crowdfunding and cryptocurrencies. But most importantly, we teach your children how to make and manage their own money. We've gamified all of our content, so it's really fun, engaging, and highly enjoyable. And Money Savvy is not just a product, it's a pathway to developing mindsets that will ensure Africans not only work their way out of poverty, but that they have the tools to stay out.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think you are definitely the person we want to hear from, because I think money is such a sticky topic for many people. And I think it would be helpful for our parent audience to get some insights on what they can do to help their children become money savvy, as you said. And so in your view, what are some financial skills or finance skills that you think every teenager should have, let's say a 16-year-old?
So definitely they need to start thinking about how they can make their own money. You know, those 1,500 Rand sneakers and 10,000 Rand phones they want aren't always affordable for us parents. So firstly, you are a person, you have two hands, you have two legs, go and make some money. Once they've made some money, teaching them how to manage that money. So my son actually started working when he was 16. I set up a bank account for him. I set up a saving pocket for him, and I said to him he has to save 50% of his salary as a starting point. So, you know, really creating that mindset from day one. So the minute you start earning money, there's a couple of things that you want to start teaching your kids. One, you want to teach them about saving, because none of us want to work till we're 90. So saving for retirement and teaching them to pay themselves first, making sure they've always got money in the bank. Secondly, the pitfalls of debt, what it means to get into debt, what happens once you're in debt, how it affects your credit score. You know, we're seeing a lot of kids leaving high school with store cards, getting store cards and credit cards, and have never even heard of the word credit score before, and getting themselves into trouble early. Something I really want teenagers to know as well is around tertiary education funding. So if you want to study further, you know, studying is generally seen as a ladder or an opportunity in your life. If you get a student loan and you don't pay it back, you know, then it becomes a snake in your life, because it's going to affect you going forward. So, and then also how to create passive income streams. So how do you create passive income streams through online investing? And then we teach going to things like crowdfunding. So if you have a very bright kid and they do have a business idea, how can you help them get the money that they need to launch the product? So crowdfunding is also something very valuable that I think we as parents need to be teaching our kids.
Okay, fantastic. And your last point struck a chord with me, because we work with very young entrepreneurs, and we know that it's challenging to access capital if you're starting a business. And we imagine that these challenges are more pronounced for particularly young entrepreneurs. And so I think what you said is so important about how, as a parent, you can help your child access funds or raise funds to start their business. And I think, you know, some of the skills that you mentioned are skills that we should all have, but it's so important to start at a really young age. And so I wonder if you could share with us what advice you would give to guide parents on how to actually talk to their children about money matters.
So firstly, don't make talking about money taboo in your home. Specifically, in this country, money is a taboo subject. It's not spoken about. It's not discussed. You know, the man was always the breadwinner. You know, we're having a lot of more female-led households. So what I do with my kids, and I'll just talk about what I do.
Okay.
So firstly, I kind of couple responsibility and money together. That's one of the things. And then I do things like I make them part of my budget. So I will say to them, okay, guys, we've had COVID. I didn't earn money for 2 months. I'm now living off my savings. I need to cut our costs down by 3,000 Rand a month. Otherwise, you know, my savings might not last us as long as we need to. How can we as a family cut back and budget together? So, you know, we cut the food budget by 1,500 Rand a month. So now what we do is we have a shopping list, we allocate a price. So bread's 30 Rand and eggs 30 Rand. And what I do is I give the kids the list and I say to them, whoever can save the most money on the shopping list, whatever's left over, you guys can buy whatever you want. So if I've allocated 100 Rand for cheese and we only spend 75, we write 25 Rand on the back of the list, and that goes then to get them what they want. So, you know, getting them involved in what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
I've set up equities accounts for my kids online, and I've taught them how to trade online. And I've said to them, you know, this is a share, this is an exchange traded fund, you know, this is a unit trust, this is the difference. You know, if you want to make money in the long term, go with these kind of investments. And if you don't have that knowledge, it's on the sites already. So just open up their eyes to what is available and what's out there.
Yeah.
A really interesting exercise that I did with my kids as well was taking them to the bank to open up a bank account. You know, and then getting their cards, letting them change, put their own PIN number in, you know, teaching them how to keep their money safe and all of the security. And it's really a conversation, and we're just not having it with those.
I agree. And I think many of us find it intimidating to talk about these things when we feel that we ourselves don't possess this knowledge. And I think that's why people like you and the work you're doing is so important. It's such an important resource for helping parents to bridge that knowledge gap.
Thank you.
And I think, you know, the examples you shared are quite practical things that people can do. It's not like, you know, you have to go out of your way to try and bring these learnings to your household. So thank you for sharing really actionable strategies that parents could try to help develop these skills in their children. And so you've talked about what you do with your sons, and I'm curious to hear if there are other strategies or other tips that you could share with parents, whether it's to, you know, help develop these skills or help them better understand finance, so that they can also inculcate that knowledge and those skills in the young people in their lives.
Get your kids working. Like, get them to do something. So I have, my middle son is a little bit of a mathematical genius. And he was actually saying to me yesterday, Mom, you know, you're not letting me play PlayStation so much, so I'm not earning that much money off it anymore. So I need to come up with another way to earn an income. What should I do? And I was like, okay, cool. So what are your skills? Like, what are you good at? Let's start there.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I'm really good at maths. I was like, fantastic. Why don't you be a math tutor for the other primary school kids in the complex? You're a straight A student. You're already doing grade 10 maths and grade 8. You could help kids from grade 1 all the way through to grade 8. So we are doing that this weekend. We're building him a little one-page website. We're putting some flyers. We're going to go door to door and introduce him to everybody in our housing estate. And he's now going to launch his new business.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so look at your kids, see what their skill sets are, and see how you can leverage off that, because that's what entrepreneurs and business people do. Yeah.
It's great because it's really about the mindset that you're developing, and also the opportunities that you're creating for your child to practice these skills and, you know, live out their passions and earn an income from it. which is
One of
fantastic.
the biggest problems that one of the biggest things that I feel we are missing when we're teaching our kids is to teach them how to solve problems, not just for themselves, but for other people. And every good business is that we're problem solvers.
Yeah.
So if you start them at a young level, so my youngest son just turned 10. He has a dog walking business.
Oh, wow.
He earns 100 Rand a day, 5 days a week.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. That's great.
When he was 8.
Yeah, yeah. And in a previous issue of our newsletter, we talked about the difference between entrepreneurship as a career and then being entrepreneurial, right? And being entrepreneurial is a toolkit. It's a skill set, it's your mindset, it's the knowledge that you possess. And it's also how you apply those things to, identify problems, to come up with creative solutions, as you've said, and to actually solve problems, not just for yourself, but for other people, as you've said, and as your son is doing, which I think is great.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. We have these conversations so regularly around the dinner table in my home, like it's kind of common practice. Mom, I need more money. Like, help me with a business idea. You know?
Yeah. It's so important to demystify finance and to demystify what entrepreneurship or being entrepreneurial is. And I love that you keep coming back to this transparency with your children and really modeling the kind of behavior that you want to see. And so, Kathryn, I know you've written a book.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the book and how people can get the book?
So the book's called Raising Money Savvy Kids, and it's really a step-by-step guide for parents to start having those money conversations with their children. So it's specifically targeted at people with kids in primary school, and it's an ebook. The reason we made it an ebook is because there's actually activities in there that you as a parent can print out, and one of them is actually helping the kid to set up their own business idea.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm happy to give the book away for free. So if you guys, I'm happy to send you a copy. So if anybody wants a copy, but they can also buy it for 50 Rand on my website, moneysavvykids.co.za. And it's something that's great for parents to do now. We're all at home. We're all teachers at the moment. So get away from geography and history and do something different with them. Teach them how to start a business.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So we will share the link to your website and just a few more details about how people can get the book in the newsletter. But I just want to thank you so much, Kathryn, for sharing your insights, sharing your expertise with us. I think what you have is such an important resource for parents out there who are listening. And we look forward to collaborating with you more in the future.
Me too. I'm very excited.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kathryn.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.